Chapter 6, The Adventures of Stagger Lee. Viola. Viola Trumpet was no Vestal virgin. She had a cantankerous streak that could leap and burn an offending person like stabbing fire. One might think that as a spiritual criminologist, an investigator and solver of spiritual crimes, she would subscribe to a rigid code of ethics. But, as yet, there was no board of professional examiners, with its regulations, its licenses, its dues, its newsletters, its workshops, its lawsuits, and its required continuing education units. She was not subject to that kind of shrivelization. She freelanced with sometimes a strong emphasis on the lance. Viola laughed. The nearby mountain stream wriggled and leaped with joy on its return journey to its ancestral home. Viola's cabin was not like all those trophy homes built in gimme time. She fit in it as warm and snugly as she had in Luther Huckleberry's arms, and he in hers. She laughed with pleasure at the memory, but with even greater delight at being alone at last once again. Her most recent clients, the members of a Baptist church in distress, struggling with demonic, angelic, and earthly forces, were gracious folk in their small-town southern way, but a little too social for her tastes. Also, as a spiritual criminologist, Viola could see into people's souls, a distinct occupational plus, but sometimes a personal hazard, and she knew the coiled and murky forces lurking within each person. Doubts, uncertainties, fears, hatreds, shame, guilt, jealousies, woundings were all interwoven into the simplest good morning. In the Baptist investigations, she proved ruthless in getting the information she needed when dealing with folk stubborn in truth-telling. Part of her was a trickster, but she got the job done. No one else was the worse for it, and if it put a stain on her own soul, as some might insist, she accepted it as a price to pay for uncovering lies and deception. Though she did not think of it that way, at least until she met Stagger Lee, she lived at the edge of noirier territory. She exhaled, exhaling, she sometimes called it, forcefully and deliberately ejecting the negative energies that began building from such thoughts, sending them to infinity. She looked around. No people anywhere. Trees, mountains, deer, elk, eagles, bear, condors, cougar, columbines, butterflies, earth, sky. Her heart smiled. She felt stronger, more comfortable now that she was back on this side of the Mississippi. The Colorado River Plateau was a place of wild beauty and boundless freedom. Home. So good to be home. She did not know that the gentle breeze that fluffed her hair was bringing the missive that would change her life forever. The message would not be delivered by human hands. She went back to the cabin, suddenly hungry, ready for a cup of strong black coffee and a portion of her fresh-baked grits, eggs, and sausage casserole. Viola never had been one for persnickety eating. She regarded food as fuel, and in her shamanic body it acted that way.